Hi, I'm back. This is segment 11 of 12 segments of my contracted book, Surrendered, and this is Jake's point of view, and it's from chapter 32, so I hope you enjoy. The restaurant is empty when I show up 2 hours before we open, but my office, or rather Sean's office, shows signs of life. A printed P&L, a stack of checks ready for my signature, and next week's schedule sit dutifully on the desk, awaiting my response. Julia struck again. Good to know someone's on top of things. The chair groans when I sit, like it senses the warring in my brain. Too many secrets on too many levels. Will it ever end? Could be, after Tessa's subtle warning, that the matter's out of my hands. Just remember, I tried. What did she mean by that? Is it a threat, an apology? What? Nothing I can do about it now. What I can do is get these checks signed. I slide them toward me and flip through them. Electric bill, water bill, insurance, and on and on. We have to sell a lot of spaghetti to justify this kind of spending. If Katie thinks her future success is a slam dunk, she'll be in for a rude awakening. Maybe it's time she sees the other side of business. If Maris, speaking of whom, is that the back door? Maris? The door slams. The one and only! I step out of my office as she disappears into the kitchen. I start to call her, then change my mind. What I have to say may be better on her turf. Strolling down the hallway, I listen for clues to her mood. Classic music goes on, but there's an absence of the clanging of pots and pans. It could be worse. Maris is transferring ingredients from the fridge to the counter, her backside to me. Def Leppard fills the air. You have a minute? I shout over the bass and lyrics as I move toward the receiver to lower the volume. Her body jerks as if I startled her. She turns, a container of spinach in her hands. You shouldn't sneak up on people who have access to sharp knives. Kind of hard to hear me approach with the music blaring. Music makes me happy. Too bad her face doesn't show it. Thought we should catch up on a few things. Like if her working at the soup kitchen has anything to do with the money she took. Best to slip that one in down the road. You have any issues we need to address? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I left that one wide open. Katie used to act as a sous chef on a more regular basis. I'd like her shift to schedule from waitressing to that. It's too hit and miss. Sounds reasonable. Have you asked her about it? She places a couple of tomatoes on the chopping block and looks at me. She says it's up to Hitler. Then she actually grins. I think she means you. I don't see the humor, but if it puts Maris in a good mood. She doesn't take well to discipline. Maybe, but it's good for her. Was that a compliment? Since we're on a roll, how's Tony working out? Any problems? She shrugs. Better since you and Tess stopped him from seeing Katie. Good. It's all I can think to say. It's either that or who are you and what have you done with my surly chef? Anything else? Yeah, Tess told me. The door to the alley entrance slams. A delivery? And I turn to the kitchen entry as Justine appears. My heart skids. This can't be good. Oh, good. I hoped I'd find you here. 2 quick strides and I'm across the room, taking her by the arm. I throw "and I'll be back" over my shoulder to Maris before escorting Justine back into the alleyway. A week before the end of October, an Indian summer's made a comeback. Better to talk outside than where big ears might overhear, even if the scenery isn't pleasant. I haul her down the alley and into the restaurant parking lot, where her car's parked next to mine. Out of earshot, I drop her arm. What are you doing here? It's so good to see you, too. I thought we were going to communicate by phone. Eyes wide, she leans close. With all your cloak and dagger secrecy, I thought maybe they might be bugged. Bugged? She can't be. A grin splits her face. Funny. I shake my head. So what? You were just in the neighborhood? She glances around the lot, nose wrinkled. Do you think we can go somewhere to talk? I'm starting to feel underappreciated. If you'd called, I could have met you somewhere. I take the keys from my pocket and escort her to my car. Better yet, we could have just talked on the phone. Saved you the drive. I don't mind. Robert's away on business, so it's a nice distraction. She slides into the passenger seat. I get behind the wheel and shift my body to face her. What's this about, Justine? Feed me and I'll tell you. It takes 5 minutes to drive to the Hangtown Cafe. Window rolled down, I let the breeze clear the cobwebs. My old life is another world, one I can't see going back to. But I don't fit in here either, not running a restaurant anyway. The cafe has only a few patrons, too late for lunch, too early for dinner, so we have our choice of tables. I walk Justine to a corner booth and sit across from her. Good afternoon, Jake. We haven't seen you here for a while. Eileen slides a couple glasses of water onto the table and hands us each a menu. I'll give you two a couple minutes. Justine folds her hands. Is this the local hangout? Spill it. Why'd you come? Jake! Kent steps up to the table, hand out. Shaking his hand, I grin. You live here or what? Seems like it sometimes. How you doing? He glances at Justine, eyebrows raised, head tilted. Doing good. This is Justine. Probably won't suffice. My sister. I look at her. This is Pastor Kent. Kent hesitates for a split second, long enough to know he'll have some questions for me. Nice to meet you, Justine. I didn't even know Jake had a sister. I guess we're even then, she laughs. I didn't know he had a pastor. Kent chuckles. Well, I'll leave you two alone. See you on Sunday, Jake. Yeah, see ya. Well, elbow on the table, she rests her chin in her hand. You've changed. Why do you say that? Because I know a pastor? Mom used to have to drag you to church kicking and screaming. You'd say Christmas and Easter were sacrifice enough. What happened? Sean O'Shea. The short version, but it'll have to do for now. No more stalling. Why are you here? She sighs. Connor called. What now? Someone's been snooping around the hospital asking a lot of questions. About me? She nods. He said it's a private investigator. Who is sick? Tess. Just remember I tried. What's going on, Jake? Are you in some kind of trouble? That's the end of that scene. So I'll see you back next week for our very last segment reading, and I hope you have a great week. Bye.